Randy, can you tell the choir hello?
Good evening. I'm Sid Davis. Just kidding. So, how many do we have?
We have 38.
38. Okay. Well, welcome. Sid was running a little fever and so decided to stay put tonight. So that's why you got me.
Woohoo!
It's my first time in front of Chancel Choir in quite a long time. So good to see all of you. Tonight we have singing. If you would introduce yourselves.
Devin!
Mike on the mic. Casey.
And Lauren.
Woo!
And we have Rob.
Dun-dun.
And Rob. What's the usual sort of threshold?
About 2 minutes after.
Okay.
Yeah, in about 2 minutes.
All the stragglers. Hanging out and chatting in the robing room.
It's fashionable to make an entrance.
Randy, somebody said you're looking good.
Oh, thanks.
And that was looking with an apostrophe in.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking.
Hey, good looking.
It's like going to places where they have fixins.
Mississippi.
I don't eat anywhere where they have fixins.
Rob,
come
Cracker
on.
Barrel is a good restaurant. It is.
Fixins.
Sorry, my glasses are really fogging at the moment, so if I can't see you, that's why.
About 1 more minute.
Cool.
We're up to about 60.
Okay, good.
Randy, I don't know. I can't
I
remember.
wish we had
the
video
cast.
and all the singers too. Could we make that happen?
No.
You're looking at
I can't remember. Have you already announced to the choir what the order for rehearsal is tonight?
No, but I will do that now. We're going to start with "The Lord is My Shepherd." Then we're going to go to "Morning Has Broken." And then "Gloria, My Savior Lives." And if we have time at the end to sing through Hallelujah Chorus, we will end with that.
Sorry.
This is an example of page turns in the mic.
Yeah, if you didn't know how noisy your page turns were, this is evidence.
That is of the devil.
Okay, we are going ahead. So we're going to start on page 4 of "The Lord is My Shepherd." Since sopranos sing the same thing twice, we'll just be really efficient with our time here. Just get our voices going. Let's all start together. Rob is going to lead us in, like a good shepherd, at measure 23. Nicely done, thank you. Choir singers at home, you'll notice just listening how well the singers here are doing all the shaping at the ends of phrases. You are with me. So follow their example because they are right on. Let's go back to page 4, to that first tutti section. And when you have a note tied across to the next bar, make sure you're doing something with it. Make sure you're giving it direction. So leadeth yourself, like the shepherd, into the next measure. Soprano and alto, why don't you demonstrate that? This is bottom of 4, pick up to the last measure. And 1, 2.
What is my shepherd? I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters.
Good, and then again we have that same nice decay there at the end of waters. Again, just a note, you're familiar with this from other rehearsals, but you'll hear singers sneaking in breaths because obviously we can't stagger when we're a quartet. So just know how the phrasing is, and it's exactly marked as it is in your score. The hard part about this, and tenors, you join them in this little, a duet becomes a trio on page 5, is making sure that we're all together on those moving quarter notes, especially after the tie, because our tendency after that tie is to be late on beat 2. So really listen to each other. I know when you're recording this, because this will be a virtual recording, you'll be all by yourself. So you have to really pay attention listening to the voice in your headphones to just make sure you're right on with them, because that will make Ryan's life easier on the post-production side. He will thank you for that. So tenors, why don't you join the sopranos and altos? And so we're listening for that cohesion on the top of page 5, starting with that trio, He Maketh Me. So here we go, bottom of 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters.
Good, yeah, excellent, nicely done. This last phrase I think is the hardest because it has all this sort of undulation, but it needs to have that sort of overall objective. We sort of lose the energy a little bit in measure 38 until we continue it again going into beside the still waters. So work on that sort of macro level phrasing so that it sounds like one idea.
Randy, we have
Yes.
a question.
Yes.
Jane Addams was asking, are either of the soprano solos really solos?
I do not know that, but if Sid is in the chat, maybe he can pop in and answer that question. Let's carry on to the bottom of 7. Yea, though I walk through the valley. There are a few challenges in this section that I find, and it's really these half notes. It's really the first couple beats of each measure because the energy kind of wants to fade away. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow, and it just sort of we get a little seasick in the valley. So again, think of that macro phrasing, and let those half notes sort of lead into that third beat. Another challenge, and it's sopranos. It's the word shadow of death. Getting the inflection on that correct because the uninflected syllable is higher. So just bring a little bit more sound into that A, and I think we'll be in the right place. Let's have all our voices, bottom of 7, right on it. 1, 2, 3, 1.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
Yeah, let's try that one more time. So we're still just getting a little bit of the da, ba-da-da, ba-da-dum. So you're really going to the word death, a very strong word. And then especially on the word fear, it's another really strong word. Do something in those 2 beats so that we get to the word evil, and then we can relax on that second beat. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1.
May I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil,
Good.
for you are with me. You will comfort me.
Yeah, and then we're fine. Yeah, I started in a weird place, but you get to do that phrase twice, so it's all good. Let's carry on. So let's pop over to Morning Has Broken. And this is one of the two pieces we'll be recording live, masked in the sanctuary, spaced out, so you'll be able to listen to your fellow singers rather than just hearing what's in your headphones. The challenge for that is going to be that we're all spaced out in the sanctuary, which is a very live place because of the time it takes for sound to travel. So you'll have to really be not just be in tune with your fellow singers, but also really be watching Sid to make sure you're just right on the beat. Let's do. Where do I want to start? Let's look at page 6, measure 47. One of the challenges on this piece, just expressively, is that we have all these important words happening on beat 2, which is usually an unstressed beat. And so we have to really bring out, mine is the sunlight, because our tendency is on beat 3 to bring that out. So is not an important word. Mine is the sunlight. So see if you can really find those important words. Here we go, just the SATB parts. 2, 3, 4, 1.
Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, radiance of day, praise with their nations, praise of the morning, God's great creation.
Yeah, and it's a little disorienting in your headphones to really sing out dynamically on some of especially the really loud places. But just do know that is a nice big crescendo there, top of page 8. It'll be easier to do it in the fullness of everybody here in the sanctuary together. This is a really challenging section to tune. So let's break it up just a little bit. There's a lot of relationships between alto and bass, baritone. So let's just have Casey and Lauren start in the same place and sing the first part when you get to that one measure where there's division. Go, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, radiance of day, praise with elation.
Yeah, and it's really the hard part is for the basses and baritones, and it's that whole step. I think that's probably the biggest whole step in the universe right there in that measure, that A sharp, especially because the alto's just saying the G sharp, the alto's just saying that A. Let's do that one more time. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, altos, you have this a lot, these sort of crunchy moments with the sopranos, and here it is with the basses and baritones, your G against their F. So really bring out that downbeat if you're an alto, because that's your moment, and it happens all over the place here. One more time, those same two voices, and still doing the first. 2, 3, 4, 1.
Mine is the sunlight.
this down a little bit. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, good. So yeah, just know basses and baritones that's a tricky measure, and it's not like what came before. So let's have now tenors and sopranos. Same place. And really hone in on the places where you have like those octaves there in that last measure. Bass twos are in there as well. Just make sure those really line up. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1.
Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning,
Good.
born of the one light, Eden's of day. Praise be the nations within nation, praise every morning, God's recreation.
Good, yeah. So again, because you share these same rhythms, just make sure you're listening across to those other parts just to make sure everything lines up nicely. All voices measure 47. So mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning. 2, 3, 4, 1.
Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden's of day. Praise be the nations within nation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Good, nicely done. Make sure it's new. So there's that Y glide, new day. And again, just, all the vowel things. I think there's one word that I saw before, but I don't see it now. Oh, God's recreation. This is bottom of page 7, measure 59. Make sure you're saying recreation, which these singers were doing that correctly, so follow their example. Recreation, not recreation. Let's go now to, let's do it from the top.
Do you want this to be a group or a solo?
Oh, let's do all. Let's
Okay.
do both of you in this opening.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird was spoken like the first morn. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning. Praise for them springing fresh from the Sweet hearings new for sunbeams from heaven, like the first dew from on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet gardens, singing completeness where his feet pass.
Yeah, let's just address one little thing. Altos and tenors, are you breathing page 4 into page 5? Garden sprung?
I'm not.
I'm not.
Okay, okay. I heard some breaths, and I didn't know if altos or tenors and sopranos and basses should lift early, but it looks like there should be a carry there. And so sopranos and basses, you'll release on the downbeat of the next measure. Same pronunciation thing with dew fall. And we want to, we want to bring the word sweet to life because it's, such a great word. The challenge is if you linger too much on that W, it can just sort of delay the onset of the vowel. So don't be too sweet with that word, and we'll be in good shape. Okay, let's carry on. Was there a question?
Yeah, Randy. One alto asked if very quickly at bar 47 through 50,
Yeah.
if we could just have Lauren sing the alto two-part to remind everybody.
Oh,
what
sure,
that's
yeah.
about.
Here we go. 3, 4.
Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning.
Good. Yeah, let's have that in context with the baritone. Same place. 2, 3, 4, 1.
Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning.
Yeah, let's add the tenor and soprano. Bass twos, I assume you have that C, that repeated C, so I'm not going to worry about you. 3, 4, 1.
Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, good of the world.
Good. Excellent. Let's carry on with Gloria, My Savior Lives.
Randy, on Morning Has Broken, are they hard T's?
I don't know. That's a question for Sid. So again, if Sid's in the chat, maybe you can answer that. So that's all I know. So choir, just to remind, this is our big Easter morning piece with orchestra. Monica is singing a lovely solo, and sopranos and altos, you start as sort of the Monica's background singers on page 2. We won't spend much time on that because it's pretty straightforward. Continues bottom of 3, soprano and alto. And then tenor and bass, you come in at the bottom of page 4. I do want to say tenors and basses, none of this seems very, basses and baritones, none of this seems very bassy. Because it seems like we hardly ever get to come in on a root note as we're used to. So here on page 4, just give me D flat major. Yeah, so here's the root, and we come in there. And one trick when you're recording, because again, this will be virtual, so you'll be recording on your own, is to listen to, are they going to be recording to orchestra tracks? Okay, so the orchestra will be in there. So if you listen for cello, and I think it's the bassoon in the measure before, so this is measure 59, they play bum, 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 and so they go right to your note. So if you're having trouble finding that third, listen to that track a few times, listen specifically for that cello and bassoon, and I think bass clarinet plays that as well, and that will help you. I lied. We are going to sing this, and Rob is going to bring out that just so we can sort of all find where we are in measure 60. So let's start on page 3 with the soprano and altos entrance in measure 52. Right on it. And 1, 2, 3. Darkness is only, here's cello. that just with the basses and tenors, again, just so we can sort of further just isolate that weird entrance. So this is, Rob, why don't you bring us in measure 56? Wait for the darkness is only the night. So we're not going to spend any more time on that. The next challenge that I just want to address in the few minutes that we have, I think the trickiest part in this piece for the choir is page 6, entrance, with this key change. So, Rob, oh, no, I went ahead one page. So let's go back to page, Rob, if you could give us the last 2 measures of page 5, and then we're all just going to freeze on our note, our first note in the new key. Yeah, so let's just build that from the bottom. Here's the bass, tenor. Do the first. Yeah, and so let's build it again, and Devin's going to give the second soprano. So here's bass. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's start in the same place. Rob is going to play the intro, and then we're going to do what we just did. So when we get to that measure, it's going to be in order. Just bring in, and Devin, start with soprano. Or no, sing soprano 2 note,
Okay.
and then stop and sing the soprano 1 note.
Okay.
Okay? So here's the last 2 measures of 5. Here's bass, tenor, alto. Yeah. So let's do that one more time, and we're all going to come in and carry on.
Which part?
Sing the second part
Okay.
this time.
Also, tenor split at the bottom of page 7. Which one do you want?
We're probably not going to get that far because it's 7:44. So here we go. Same place. And do that one more time with the first soprano split. And Lauren, whichever you didn't sing, which one did you just do?
I did first. So
First, okay, so this will be second altos for you then at the bottom of 6. The other thing we have to be really careful, because some of these endings, most of these endings are with an S or a Z, to be right on that 8th lift. It's tempting to, unless we just had decided earlier to lop that 8th note off. I don't have that in my notes. Okay, so we are going to do the 8th lift there. So again, to make Ryan's life easier, see how closely you can get that. Here we go, bottom of 5. And so we didn't get to Hallelujah Chorus, but I think you'll be fine on that. There, we did it. Yeah. Real quickly, since we're usually sort of tearing down during the Zoom, I do want to take just a moment to talk a little bit about recording things, because very soon you will be recording. The Lord is My Shepherd is going to be the first one. So again, with video, most of you are just sort of right in the right spot, but I just do want to make a few notes to just sort of keep improving. First is about framing, which I can't see how I'm framed, but I assume it's framed very well. And so you should be aiming for a similar sort of thing. So horizontal video format, have some space above your head, think sort of mid-torso, and that will give me room to put you in any sort of shape rectangle. Some of you get vertical and really close to the edges, and it just gets a little hard to make everybody look the same. The second thing is, and this only recently occurred to me, I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but especially if you're using a phone, you're used to flipping it so you can see yourself to do a selfie. And on most every camera, that lens isn't as good. So there's going to be more noise in the image. The color may be off a little bit compared to the camera that you use to take photos of other things. So the rear-facing camera. The challenge is that you have to set it up and you can't see yourself. So you have to take some test shots, some test clips just to make sure you're framed nicely in the right place, all that sort of thing. So I'll leave that to you to figure out. The other thing with the camera is making sure that it's as close as possible to eye level. So you're looking right at the camera. If the camera is down and you're looking down at it, it's not a terribly flattering angle, so do yourself a favor for that. And the other thing is just to make sure you have it somewhere supported. No matter how steady you think your hand is, there's going to be stuff bouncing around in the background, and it's not going to look very good. So again, most everybody has sort of figured out the routine, but just take those tips to heart and we'll be in good shape. I will send those in an email and post to Facebook group as well, just so you have that reference. Ryan, anything you'd like to add on the audio side? Oh, you don't have a mic, okay. So we will swap a room. Oh, maybe bring your own headphones. Okay.
Hello. A couple of reminders on the audio side of things. I'm not going to touch Randy's phone. If you're recording to a phone, you want to place it on a flat surface. Turn it on silent mode. Make sure nothing vibrates, right? And then just a reminder, as a general purpose, you want to be about a foot away or 2 hands like that away from the mic of the microphone, okay? And just like Randy was talking about being eye level with your camera, when you do the audio, you don't want your phone to be down on the table and then you're singing into it like this, right? So if you can, set up something to where you can have that microphone at the same level as your mouth. Just a reminder, I know this is very cringeworthy, but take a listen back over through your audio, check for any dogs, tags, jackhammers, lawnmowers, roofing men, airplanes, all of the above, okay? Street cleaners, all of those things. I know it can be cringy to listen back, but take a chance and do that. You're gonna have the sync clap at the beginning, just a reminder, that's gonna be the first thing you hear. And also a reminder at the end of your recording, this is for video and audio, don't just finish singing and then you're done and then move, right? So take a good 5 count after you've finished and then move. That way we have silence on the tail end to do things. I think that covers it. Just a reminder, you're going to have a download link to download the music, and then you're also going to have an upload link. So once you've made your recordings, both your video and your audio, you click on that upload link and you get to pick your file that you want to upload, and then you'll click that, and that's what it does. Typically, you have a better experience on a desktop device. Just a reminder, remember when we did this a long time ago, when people made upload submissions for video and audio, sometimes off their mobile phone, it would time out. And that's nothing to do with you or anything. That's Dropbox on the back end. So just know that that might happen again. If it does, just try it again. I think that covers it. Did I forget anything? I don't think so.
No, sounds good. One more thing to add on video, and this is related to freezing at the end until the music is done and you've counted 5 seconds. Make sure you start your video recording first, and then, hopefully your audio signal is close to you so you can start that so that you're in place before the music starts. Just in case I feature you as a solo image right at the very beginning.
Oh, I have one more thing. One more thing. For those of you who can't seem to find a quiet place or a quiet time, or maybe your apartment or your home is near a busy street, you're going to laugh at me when I say this. There are professional singers that are submitting recordings right now that they have their mic, and then they put a towel over themselves and their microphone to record. Or they go into their closet and they record. That's honestly, if you're at your home, if you have a closet large enough to walk into, that's the best place to do your audio recordings, because all of your clothes soak up all of the sound around, so it's really quiet. So just a tidbit if you cannot find a place to record. So.
Okay, thanks for tuning in, and see you on Zoom.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks.